Dawn versus Bad Monkey Gaming, and do not adjust your television set, or I guess in this case your monitor. Anyways, the score is as it is. I did not mess anything up here. It is Dawn up 1-0 over BMG. Of course, they're even coming off a 2-0 victory over Willowkeeper in the first round, and again, obviously up 1-0 here against BMG behind Nighthound being played by Probusk. Overall, just a very, very impressive team performance, though, in the end. So really looking forward to seeing how things move on here to game number 2. Minimag joining me once again. Man, still can't believe it, but that is the case. They get their keeper pick again here, though. You see the initial bans. It was Rhapsody, Swiftblade, Magnus, Cthulhu font. So not addressing the Nighthound, but I think it's safe to say we didn't expect that necessarily. But interesting start here, though.
And Haxron is right-clicking the one, the only, the Defiler. Please, can we have him? Oh no, he's changed to a video. That sucks, but if we see Defiler, that's going to be sick, but most probably we won't. But yeah, I mean, Nighthand doesn't really need to get banned out, though, really, because, I mean, yeah, it had a great sort of game 1, but I think it was more of like a surprise factor, and now obviously BMG playing that first game, they know sort of how to deal against it, how to sort of utilise it, for example, or utilise against it. So there's not really need to sort of ban it out. I don't think Dawn are going to pick up here in the second game either, so just not big. It's kind of more like a one big off factor, but we do have the affiliate keeper Tempest. Keeper. Man, all these heroes coming back, man. Like, it's great. In Cycle 1 and 2 we saw a massive sort of shift into the meta game, and now we're sort of drifting back to sort of the team fight push meta of back in the sort of SGJs, and man, all these heroes are just all those sort of heroes back into the old meta as well, so it's really strange to sort of see. But
yeah, I mean, it's obviously as it's called, like the Stay Green-esque. This is Stay Green-esque time frame. Seeing the Tempest, the Ophelia, the Keeper of the Forest, all three happening to be in the same game. I cannot recall the last time this has happened, where all three have managed to be picked up in the same exact game. But we have that here, and again, what is game 2 of this series? But yeah, the most important thing to note of all that is that Keeper and Ophelia is on the side of Dawn, whereas BMG just got their hands on Tempest. So they got that mass push potential. A lot of team fight already. They throw the Kraken on top of that. So definitely already off to a very good start in that sense. Now, I believe they actually ended up going with the Malakin pick against Willowkeeper in that game 1, where they actually got the Ophelia Keeper of the Forest. So I'm wondering if that just happened to kind of work out for them that game, or maybe if there's some logic there, he's good with the team push as well. Good assistance in the earlier on team fights, perhaps. I wonder if that could be a possibility here in the next phase of picks. But so far, BMG takes out Empath as far as their bans are concerned, so they're a little focused on support there rather than the carry option. Now back over to Dawn. You see Madman taken out by them with the Drunken Master as well, so they're removing some Zibe options here, is safe to say. But BMG, expect them to draft some counter push here. They got the Pyromancer. He's pretty solid at that. Well, Pebbles, decent, I guess.
They don't really need to draft counter push, because in this case, like, it's almost the same strategy going against each other. Like, unless you're going to go a complete different strategy, like split push and carry, then there's no need to go split push. You can just go head to head and play the same strategy, but just see who plays it better. In this case, obviously, BMG can just rotate onto heroes that are always picked up in the old meta, like Rich Hag, okay, which got banned out. Master of Arms, for example. Who else has quite picked up quite a lot in the old meta? Like, Corrupted Disciple could still work. Those, strong short laners that can work in a team fight potential and still offer something in terms of the late game as well. And they don't need to draft split push or sort of counter push, because they're just going to fight head on head. They're going to either trade towers, which they're fine with, or they're just going to go fight as 5 and 5v5 and see who comes out ahead, really. So in that respect, they're going to go for the same strategy. I'd assume maybe go for the Master of Arms. I mean, it was a very, very popular pick back in the past meta. Sorry. In terms of carry potential, in terms of suicide potential, Pharaoh's still on the board. I don't know if we're going to see it here, because they've got the initiation factor of Pebbles now. So there's quite a few sort of ways they can play. I mean, I'd like to see them pick out Lodestone, actually. Lodestone is an incredibly strong hero in terms of their sort of strategy. Great team fight potential. They've got the Tempest as well, and it's a lot of AoE, and Lodestone would fit quite well. Good suicide hero. He's got escape mechanism and got good burst potential as well. So I'd like to see the Lodestone. I don't think we are going to see it. It was picked up quite a bit in the old meta as well, but We'll have to see, I guess.
Well, I know you brought that up before too, and every now and then he seems to kind of pop up, and he does well, and it seems like the potential, but for some reason he just then dies off again. So, it's just I guess maybe just other options that they prefer to go with.
It's more the strategy, I think, because like low zone can work, but it has to be in this kind of strategy, like 5-on-5 team fight. Offers a little bit in terms of the late game, but doesn't offer too much in terms of gank in that respect. So they're going to pick up bubbles here instead, so it's not too bad. Yeah. Can still work. Great hero in terms of the AoE, got gank potential as well. So in terms of their short line, though, they need some kind of physical presence because it's fine to go team fight and have a lot of spells, but they need some kind of late game potential. Haggis banned out. That would have been probably a perfect pickup actually here, but I don't know. Master Arm's not too bad, but I honestly can't think of who else really. Obviously for Dawn, they need a short laner as well. Actually, in this case, that they might pick up a hero that might be able to get babysat by the Torture, because you can obviously run Kraken in a 1v2 matchup, whereas Pebbles you just can't really.
Why not?
Unless they want to.
Why not Nighthound again?
I mean, you could pick up Nighthound again, I guess, but in this case, I mean, BMG are a lot more able to sort of play against it. They've got a good burst with Pebbles and Bubbles. They're going to send Dark Lady instead, so a little bit better. But here comes the Soulset. Actually, Soulset's perfect because it's got that team fight potential. It will most likely get wrecked in terms of the Dark Lady if BMG are not there with the team support, but they've got a great team support. They've got the Bubbles, they've got the Pebbles, and they've got the Tempest to really lock down Dark Lady. And if Hackstrom can have like a free time, have a lot of open mobility, then they're going to do a lot of damage and a lot of work against Dawn. But I mean, it started off with like an old meter, but it's kind of gone back to sort of carry as well with the last couple of picks. So I'm looking forward to this game, man.
Here we go. Let's get it on, says the announcer, and the players will oblige right there. But yeah, the Soul Stealer snap pick coming out in the hands of Hackstrom now, and again, this is another one of these kind of carry heroes we actually have been seeing pop up a little bit more. It definitely makes sense here. Obviously, not only team fight, but great counter push if calls for it. And in this game, I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities where it calls for it. But go in the Dark Lady. We saw Dark Lady ban last game in those second tier of bans. This time around, not though. And obviously, Dawn takes advantage of that, gets it on Probusk. As I was saying, I mean, they did ban out Malikan, though. That's worth noting. I mentioned that in the first game against Willowkeeper. They ran that. But BMG, again, doing a little bit of research there, I'm sure, and taking away that option. But still, Dark Lady, maybe not as involved as they carry, say, the Nighthound or even something like that Malikan earlier on. But I think it goes without saying that when it comes to late game, in fact, speaking of the podcast that we had, pointed out one of the interesting stats was Dark Lady had the top 2 GPM games in Cycle 3. Both belong to her, and the third game, I think it was like 500 plus. So, yeah, this hero knows how to farm usually, and I don't see that being different here, or at least that's what Dawn's going to go for. So, early on, you got BMG playing pretty aggressive, getting their wards down, and pretty freely there. Ward decide to block the camp near the rune here. Pyromancer going to do another one on the middle camp here. So Ophelia will have to deal with that, as she is sitting on 363 gold currently, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Rev Ward purchased here, at least one, off the bat. But Torture is going to babysit Dark Lady, no surprise there. Again, Kraken middle, and Keeper will end up at the top lane. As far as BMG setup here, they got Soul Stealer heading top, you got Pebbles and Pyromancer mid, and then, of course, Suicide Bubbles coming out. And what do you think? Would you send the Pyromancer maybe top with Soul Stealer to kind of protect him and babysit him against this Keeper, or would that just not be worth it here?
Because, I mean, they have to have presence in the middle lane. We talked in the last game where we had Vindicator in the middle lane, and it can work, but in this case, they need to have the farm on Pebbles. And if Pyro leaves for top, he's going to have Soul Stealer more of an impactful time, and Soul Stealer's going to have a better time. But with this kind of meta and this kind of strategy, they need the early portal key on Pebbles, and he will get wrecked by Kraken 1v1 because of his so low armor, and because of obviously the splash from Kraken. And not to sort of respect Labyrinth as well. He's a great Kraken player as well. So it's just better to sort of keep it safe and give the farm on Pebbles. And at the same time, Hackstrom can easily handle himself against a 1v1 Keeper. Keeper obviously got his nurse to his laning phase as well. And Soulstealer is a strong laner. So he got some buffs as well. So in that respect, he's a good laner and he can easily handle himself. So there's no need to rotate to have Pyromancer sit onto Soulstealer. So it's just better to get the early farm on Pebbles, get the early portal key, and then have the momentum and the sort of game in their own hands in DMG.
Makes sense there. So for the time being, I mean, early creep farm. You see Pyromancer kind of doing his best to box out Kraken. Kraken puts a 1 auto attack and basically does the same damage in return. Due to that splash, and obviously at the bottom side, you got Bubbles and Torture having the mind game against one another, while Dark Lady just farms in the meantime, as is not surprising. So, the other series, by the way, Sync versus who are they playing? Night Raid. That's right. I keep forgetting their name. Anyways, Night Raid over there. Sync did win the first game pretty handily, it looked like, so they're already in their game 2 as well. So, again, beat cast by Lash over there, but this looks like Sync taking care of business. Nothing too out of the ordinary on that side of the bracket. As far as the middle lane goes, Ophelia coming in with the Skeleton King, but Pyromancer actually fell back just before. Good reaction by support, because second later, that could have definitely been a bloodlust kill right there. So, falls back, and Ophelia, being played by Iceland Gogo, will go back into his jungle and continue to farm for the time being. So, other than that, probably wouldn't expect too much action to happen here early on, other than the occasional Ophelia gank here. But first try unsuccessful there. We'll see when the next time perhaps comes up. Just going to be the yellow cam in the meantime. Oh, middle lane actually. Kraken is going to fall. So much for no action. Pyromancer and Kraken. Kraken gets his combo, or excuse me, Pyromancer and Pebbles. Pebbles gets his combo off, and Kraken does fall. Obviously in that lane. So Bloodlust in favor of BMG. As usual, a good start for them.
Yeah, and a little bit of... I think Labyrinth, honestly, just got a little bit overconfident. Like, he had about 3/4 HP, and then he actually turreted onto Pebbles. Actually, they're going in, though, again.
They are going to be going to the middle lane here, trying to turn it on a Pyromancer. He has the charge. He gets the angle, turns him on the cliff, but he goes uphill.
Oh, my God.
That's the cliff bug right there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And now Kraken, he actually might be in a little bit of trouble himself once again. Bottle charge is coming out. Stalagmite's hit. Labyrinth in trouble. He's probably going to fall. Yes, he will. Yeah, that's got to be painstaking, man. I mean, you see Ophelia right there, able to be fine as she gets away, but knowing that should have been a kill yourself. And hey, it's at the same time, and if you play Kraken and you say he does a lot, I mean, you got to know that can happen.
No, I agree, man. That's true, but again, this is why sometimes it's good to have the sort of presence in the middle lane, because there's a lot of ganks and a lot of hero kills that can be open to you. Like, if that's a Pebbles solo there, he's dead two out of the 2 ganks. Instead, with the Pyromancer support there, he gets the 2 kills actually on Kraken, and now this is a little bit of an awkward situation, because they're actually losing top, they're losing mid. All they're doing is getting good farm on Pro Boss, that's fine, that's good. But he's really only going to sort of peak 30-40 minutes in, and you really need to have Kraken and Ophelia as well to have kind of a good start to really help and progress in the game at the mid game. Whereas BMG, they've got the Super KG factor now. He's got 360 GPM. He's closing in on that portal key. In the mid game, it's going to be all BMG's way now because of that early good start and that early momentum. And for Dawn, like, they'll need to bring out some special plays if they're going to have a good time in the mid game, because otherwise, BMG, they're going to roll over Dawn before Dark Lady can get scary. And that's one issue, and obviously kind of the benefit of BMG in that respect for going the dual mid and having such a good start. But it's definitely something to be noted here for Dawn.
Yeah. I mean, Dark Lady being played by Probosco again, his start is very good, 23-8 here. You compare that to, say, the Soul Stealer's 18-8, so obviously the slight advantage coming out there, and going to keep her the forest, though. That's what he can do. Can make it a little extra difficult on the short laning hero. And most certainly that is of impact. You do see the top lane Bubbles up here, level 2 only, though. Trying to set something up. There is the dust on Tempest, but for the time being, it looks like Yellow Rex are in pretty good position, where he's not going to be caught out, and that's probably thanks to this Ward of Sight that he placed as well, near the pole camp over here. So, giving him plenty of information to deal with. Obviously, we're waiting on Ophelia DC'd here, so as soon as he's good to go, though, we'll be resuming on what is going to be game number 2. And again, Ophelia keeping the forest alone really speaks for that. When is this Legion team going to find that push point? And that's also for BMG to watch out for. That definitely is inevitably going to be happening. And how much they can address it is going to be the question when it actually does happen. So, well, let me see, is that other game actually? Yes, they are in their game. Let's go monitor game real quickly. Sync versus Night Raid. And, ooh, interesting stuff over there. Night Raid actually going, whoa, first off, is that cookies? Is that a cookies I see? Mm-hmm. Playing for Night Raid? It sure is. How about that? I wasn't even aware of that. Cookies apparently back on the comp scene playing for them. So he's actually playing the Legionnaire over there, and they actually got Legionnaire and Warbeast on the same team. Not often you would see that. Sync does look like they're in the early lead, though, in that game from looking at the monitor game there. Man, Cookies, did you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it, but I actually know it was. I mean, I heard rumors, but I didn't think that was legit.
Okay.
I didn't think he's actually going to be playing though. But wow.
Get another
Old
player
school, man.
that's making a comeback, apparently. Yeah, old school definitely.
It's all that
right
money,
there.
man.
It's all,
all
hey,
that money.
there's some good money on the line and, good incentives
Oh.
up there. So that's good to see. Speaking of that, yes, Cycle 4 technically the lowest price pool so far as the 4 cycles go. But with that said, it's still nearly $30,000.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Wouldn't call that low, man.
Yeah, it's as far as we haven't had too much diversity here when it comes to the prize pools throughout the first 4 cycles of it. But the greatest way to look at it too, through 4 cycles, we already have more prize pool in season 3 than all of season 1 during the regular season. So, which was 10 cycles instead of 8. So. Yeah, to say the least, I mean, facts are facts. The numbers don't lie that. There's some good money in the line here for all these teams that they're competing for. So, still, and as we keep talking about, hell, another case there, Cookie's coming back, and more seem to kind of pop up every cycle here. So, good to see that. Apparently, though, he's still DC, ADC, BMG trying to maybe get an ETA, but no response just yet. So, if this happens for a little bit longer, we might just go on a quick break ourselves. No point to ramble on about a whole lot of nothing here, but losers bracket tomorrow, though. I guess we can preview that a little bit. I'll pull up the brackets here for you guys, and again, in case you guys missed it, if you happen to be just tuning in, those are correct. Yes, Bad Monkey Gaming defeating Reason Gaming in the first round. Again, not a huge surprise there necessarily, but that was a hell of a series. If you missed that, you got to watch the fall when it comes out, especially of that game number 2. Dawn defeating Willowkeeper 2-0. Thus why they are here and right now versus BMG, of course. The top portion, Night Raid taking out Nullstone Gaming 2-1, and then Sync defeating Prime Icarus pretty easily 2-0. But the losers bracket, tomorrow we got 2 matchups in the first round. And again, I think it's safe to say we're going to go with Willowkeeper versus Reason Gaming, knowing that one of those 2 teams is going to be bounced down to Gold Division next cycle. So crazy to think, but it is what it is. And he made the point that those 2 teams have been practicing a lot against each other especially, which makes it even crazier. And Reason especially have been practicing a lot, so that's got to be pretty depressing for them, honestly. But at the same time, hey, you win there so you'll remain, but it's not going to be easy, nor should it be, frankly. So that's going to be a challenge for those 2 teams in that matchup. And then Prime Icarus taking on Nullstone Gaming, of course, which the other matchup, which we'll keep an eye on, obviously. But yeah, if Willowkeeper manages to get knocked down, man, after back-to-back runner-ups,
that would be ridiculous, man. Like, I mean, I was going to say that. Like, we talk about how Zinc, they're on the top of the team, and maybe people are like, oh yeah, the competitive seems a little bit boring here and there. But there's so many different results. Like, I don't think there's ever been a time in Hon where past the top 1 that like. You don't know who's going to be second or third. Like, with Tree just losing to Dawn, I mean, I have to sort of predict that there's going to be a different, at least number 2 team in Hon, or at least, taking this cycle. And there's so many sort of different teams bouncing up. Like, we had Nullstone Gaming taking 3rd of the other cycle. Now they, obviously, are on the verge of elimination as well. So there's so much sort of fighting for that 2nd and 3rd and 4th spot as well. So
yeah,
a lot of storylines in that respect.
certainly are. So we're not sure on the ETA here yet, so we're going to go ahead and take a short break right here. We're hopefully not too much longer again. Depending what happens, we may see about jumping to the other series, but I don't want to jump into that and have to jump back into this one. Anyways, we'll take a short break. We'll give you guys updated if anything, and we'll let you know what the deal is going to be as far as moving forward. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back, though. Game number 2, Dawn versus BMG. Hopefully we'll be continuing very shortly here with Game 2 here on Hawkcast. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
saying is that stand up and fight the system where all of those around me whoa. Or is it just because I have to? Because I know I will explode if I don't. Maybe I never knew you, but hopefully by now you've learned. Well, this will only hurt a little, babe. You keep telling me it's getting better, but I know it's getting harder. It's getting harder. It's getting harder. It's getting
sound will my shrift while I'm sitting back cross streets of home. When your friend bartender just made drink for me, yeah, I can see the mirror behind his back and my reflection that is drinking Mr. Jack. I'm looking through the window to see the roadway. Everyone the footprints amassed every day, dude. I'm feeling the same about myself. And I'm drinking for C because I'm how the people say it helps. Anyone can fix it, but nobody can see all the shit that will lie in the roadway on me. Nobody cares, and I feel sick and tired. It's hard to clean up, so easy to be blind. We all wanna fly, we all want to sometimes reach the sky. Joy in the breeze, but even angels, if they come to help us, they will cry. Looking at this, the second sip is gone for me. What can I do? It is a people lonely. No, nobody can deal with that, but the third sip will make it not so bad. I wanna break myself, rather than shame someone else. Now my shift is going to the bottom. Maybe need someone to change you, not change the button. Anyone can fix it, but nobody can see all the shit that will lie on the road with me. Nobody cares, and I feel sick and tired. It's hard to clean up, so easy to be blind. I wanna fly. We all want to sometimes reach the sky. Joy in the breeze, but even angels, if they come to help us, they will cry. Looking at this, and now I'm sitting at the black bar, paying bill with my gold card, and now thinking that enough, cause this road has no end, it will bring me nothing. And I'm gonna go my own way, when I'm looking for my soulmates. I dress, go out, I see this mess and decide to go around. We all want to sometimes reach the sky. Joy in the breeze, but even angels, if they come to help us, they will cry.
All right, welcome back, guys. It looks like... let me turn that off. All right, there we go. Looks like we are back. It looks like you got it figured out, having a little bit of an issue there, but Iceland Go-Go is back, and that's what matters. And we got another pause.
Spoke too soon, man. I'm joking.
Nice.
But yeah, so... what happened in this game again? What?
Yeah, there we go. I know, right? It's 2-0 BMG. Let's kind of get our bearings straight here.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
So 2-0 BMG. Pebbles is off to a solid start here as far as farm goes.
It's about damn time.
Basically, the gist of it here. Obviously, so very early on. Only 4 minutes. By the way, Sync did 2-0 Night Raid over there in the other matchup. So, again, taking care of business pretty quickly over there on their side. And they advance on to another, their 4th straight winner bracket final. So, congrats to them. Again, a lot of questions. So, will this actually be the 4th cycle that Sync's able to take in a row, which something that no other team has ever done throughout Han Tours, or will it be somebody else? Hey, with the way Don's playing, who knows? Amongst other teams. So, all right, back to this one. Farm-wise, I mean, Pebbles is leading the charts. Soul Stealer and Dark Hoodie pretty head-to-head as far as that's concerned, but then also Tempest even up there. So, yeah, Bad Monkey Gaming has a lot of good things going for them here. What is their game 2, playing down 1-0. Tempest maybe look for him to group up and get that push going sooner than later. Bubbles actually kind of leeching experience there, it almost looks like, from Tempest, as yeah, he's continues to have a little bit of troubles here early on. In this game here, he's at the top lane. He's not even going to be at the bottom lane, so I guess that kind of makes sense, though. Not much you can do down there. Babysit Torture, who's actually doing a triple stack pull in the meantime. Gonna get some good farm out of that, some good levels, and also letting Darkly to get her own free farm.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing here, though, for Dawn is that they need to somehow focus farm on Kraken. So it talks about how Pebbles is going to have a big impact in the game once he picks up his portal key, because Tempest is going to get his Astrolabe in his mana ring when Pebbles has picked up his portal key, and then BMG are going to start taking T1 towers, and Dawn just won't be ready to sort of take that team fight, because all their farm really is on Dark Lady, and she'll need her Rune Cleaver, her Abyssal Skull, and her Shrunken Head, and that's not going to be in time before BMG are ready to fight. And for them to really be able to maybe take team fights is Roof the farm with Kraken. And at the moment, he's having a terrible start. Obviously, he had the 2 early deaths. And, I mean, there's not much really where he can farm. Like, I mean, he can't farm mid because, obviously, he's solo by himself. He obviously can't farm jungle because he doesn't farm it quick enough. And if Torture does rotate into the middle lane, then they're just going to lose it because, Pebbles and Pyromancer are just too strong at this moment. You've got level 6 on Pebbles now as well. Pyromancer's in level 6, and if Torture comes over here, it's just free food for Pebbles. And I mean, I think the only thing they need to do really is stop pushing with Ophelia and Keeper. I know it's a little bit early, but they need to give some kind of farm here for Kraken. They need to take this tier 1 down bottom very, very quickly. If not, start pushing here onto the tier 2, because Kraken needs his farm. He's not getting anything from the mid lane. He's actually resorted to jungling, and he needs this early portal game, if not even Steam Boost. But Ophelia is in the jungle, and he's level 5 now, and I'd really like to see them start getting some generated gold here for Kraken. But
yeah,
and that's actually the push. So right on time, I guess. Actually, this would be perfect time, and making me look, seem like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But here comes the push, though. So yeah, but this is going to be the rotation from Pyromancer, though. I think this tier 1 is going to happen, but as you can see, BMG have counter and split push here in the top lane, so at least BMG are not sort of losing out on this trade, but at least it's something here for Dawn, and they do need to get some kind of early gold boost here for Kraken in particular.
Yeah, well, there you go. So they get the tower, as you said, the top tower also going down in Bad Monkey's favor right there. Tempest and Soul Stealer still even doing a little bit of push themselves. See the Demon Hands coming out, and that'll clean up the creep wave and allow to push into the actual tower here, pending Keeper the Forest playing the harassment hero that he can in this case. So yeah, they're going to keep this going actually, as Don will start to fall back for the bottom lane. I wonder if that's going to be the key for BMG to maybe fall back themselves as well.
They don't need to.
Being. Yeah, they're not going to actually.
Because you had Pyromancer and Bubbles, they can stop any push coming out from Dawn because they don't have the greatest push potential. Outside of Ophelia, Dark Lady and Torch don't really offer too much in terms of sort of minions. And even if they did, you got Pyromancer and Bubbles and great creep clearing potential. Whereas Keeper the Forest, yeah, he can sort of pull the aggro off with his animated forest, but they're not too worried about that. They've obviously got Tempest minions that they can't draw aggro from. And the only thing that really sort of stopped them from pushing would be any rotations, but they are going to back off here. They don't want to sort of they don't want the rotation to happen. They obviously want to keep farming, and they're in a good position now. So they don't need to sort of push things. One thing I would like to see actually was be a ward on this statue here for Haxtron, because it would spot out any rotations coming out from Dawn, if they could even have a rotation. I mean, even if they were going to have a rotation, like who could they bring? Like Kraken is not in a good position to sort of gank. He doesn't have a portal key, so he can't really utilize his release of the Kraken. Torture doesn't even have steam boots, and maybe Ophelia, but she's too slow as well. So maybe the ward up here on the station isn't even needed. So Haxtron's just going to go back and farm the jungle, and the lane is going to be pushed out as well. So. Yeah. But Dark Lady is closing in on that Rune Cleaver, which is a big factor, because he's going to be the factor here in this game, because I mean, he's going to almost have to 1v5 this whole BMG team if they're going to sort of stay in this game, because Kraken's offering nothing, and Keeper's just going to offer some lockdown with his ultimate, but outside of that, that's about it.
Yeah. Top lane. Now, this is interesting. Keeper the Force is sitting on top of Soulstealer here with a root ready to go. Obviously, he needs definitely a lot of support, but arguably 2 heroes even, but no one's coming up, so again, just sitting here, leeching some experience, and not really looking to go for any gank attempt, unfortunately, it looks like. So what could have been a good chance, but just with the rotation and everything, wasn't really feasible. And Soulstealer will actually fall back before too much happens there. So Sustainer is finished on Probusk. Into the jungle a little bit right here. He's going to do a little bit of stacking himself. And again, keep that progression going. As we talked about, though, Kraken really needs to step up the game as far as his farm. I mean, he is level 6. Only 183 gold per minute, though. Still not the prettiest in the end. Haxtron, in the meantime, holy crap, he has farmed pretty crazy right here. Another 2,000 gold saved up. You see a portal key just bought by Pebbles. Energizer by Soulstealer. So a couple of key items. And the Astrolabe on Tempest, so...
Yeah. This is the core. This is the sort of the trio of items that BMG now needs or now can use to start pushing. You got Soulstealer here farming the Ancients. He'll most likely have to actually rotate back to the Fountain before he can start pushing mid. But Tempest is coming mid anyway, so maybe they're going to leave the Ancients. Oh no, I mean Soulstealer is killing them very, very quickly actually. Yeah. So he needs some kind of mana regen, but he should be fine. They've got the Ring of Sorcery, but here comes the push mid. Actually, Kraken.
Yeah, Kraken's going to get caught here in the middle lane. Pebbles chucked in back. He charges them back in, though. He does go down. Trying to buy time for the turnaround. It's not successful, though, as he eventually does fall. Ophelia's touch was used there as well, so Iceland Go-Go doing the best that he could to keep Kraken alive, but obviously wasn't to be. So good jump with that portal key. Definitely, I'm sure that was a little bit of surprise factor coming in right there, as we talk about. So this tower now going to take that good pressure against Soulstealer, clean up the Ancients. He's actually now joining them in the middle lane to buy some mana potions to regen back up, and the Ring of Sorcery also helping with that. So again, that's what, when you get these kind of items here, that's where you're able to do it, and showing it, and they're making it work very, very well. Pebbles jumps in pretty aggressively. He is going to be locked down, though, with the Ophelia minions, and that'll be that. So.
And, I mean, there's nothing that Dawn can do. Like, Kraken doesn't even have Steam Boots, let alone Portal Key, so they have no kind of initiation, they have no kind of catch. Dark Lady's not able to sort of get involved in team fight because she's gone Rune Cleaver, and she's not even close to that. And even when she has it, she'll need her strong. And I'd really like to see BMG take this 2-1 tower bottom, because they're in... Like, Dawn have no way to put up a resistance against the sort of the team fight potential now BMG have. They've got Portal Key on Pebbles, Astrolabe on Tempest, and obviously the Energizer on Soulstealer as well. And, I mean, they're going to go back and farm and maybe sort of, push out the lanes from there on. But BMG, they can just group as 5 and just almost take every single tower out, because Dawn, they're just not ready to fight, and they just don't offer too much. They're so far behind right now because they lost the laning stage so hard.
So top lane, keeping the Force again, just simply trying to put a little bit of pressure up there, but in comes Soulstealer, he just nukes down his Tree Dogs, and we'll start pushing it back. So Yellow Rexar instead heads into the jungle, and is going to do what he can over there. But yeah, just the map positioning right now, the advantages that BMG has, it is just steadily growing. Nearly 7,000 gold lead, 4,700 experience lead here in their favor. So they got a lot of that early team fight, as you're stressing, and that most certainly is going to continue to show, I'm sure, as it goes on. So Rolly Dawn going to rely on this Darkly, which I'm sure is going to be that Rune Cleaver eventually, and she actually is getting pretty close to it here. She does have 1850 gold saved up. They're trying to do something at the bottom lane, but look at the ward of sight. It's going to spot all this incoming.
This is so risky. Like, if Pebbles has a TP, which he doesn't actually, so they might get away with it to a degree. But like, I mean, Dawn needs to be trying to delay as much as possible, because they cannot take team fights. So pushing when BMG aren't pushing will just force the rotation from BMG, and that's where it gets really ugly and dirty here for Dawn, because I mean they just simply can't team fight unless the next 15-20 minutes the team fight doesn't happen. Like, there's so many items that Dawn need before they can team fight, and they just don't have them yet. and there's a portal key on Soul Stealer now as well. So much one-more combo, so much team fight, and Dawn they just can't really contest really without the items they need.
Talking about a completely different game number 2 here. After that first game where they just steamrolled BMG really from the beginning. I mean, I know it's a 22-minute victory. It could have easily been a much earlier victory than that, as they were just continuing to go, go, go. So, yeah, BMG, it's almost as if they're the ones that are totally in charge now because they are. And, you know, maybe not even as crazy as last game was in favor of Dawn, but still the overall is there. So, again, Dark Lady, she's very close to the Rune Cleaver. We all know, we keep talking about how once she gets that, the potential really does start to skyrocket. But I will say BMG is doing a great job of managing farm here, specifically for Haxorin. Another triple stack Ancients. It's like they just didn't even let it go to waste. Every cycle comes around, they make sure to stack it. I'm sure support's on top of that. And he's going to clean them up once again. So 486 gold per minute, a lot of that thanks to support here. Making sure to be on top of stacking the Ancients especially. So yeah, the Energizer, the Portal Key already picked up. On his way to now even the next tier.
Yeah, and I mean, Solstice is a great hero to really take Ancients this early. Like, I don't think any hero can really take Ancients that early other than Soul Stealer. Like, Dark Lady definitely can't, particularly without her Rune Cleaver. And even when she can, she'll need some assistance with that. It's just, you know, Soul Stealer can take him by himself. Yeah, he did have a little bit of support for Pyromancer, but Soul Stealer, a great hero to really take use of the Ancients early on. But one thing to note, though, is that, I don't know, BMG seem to be sort of sitting back when I think they should be forcing the issue. Like, they don't want to give Dawn any kind of space to really get back into this game. Dark Lady does have a Rune Cleaver now, so she's going to sort of snowball and you know, skyrocket in terms of farm. Kraken doesn't have a portal key. There's so many things that Dawn don't have to really take a team fight, yet BMG aren't really forcing the issue. I guess they don't need to in that respect because they're so far ahead in terms of farm, but I mean, it might, you know, come back to sort of bite them in the butt if they're not.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those calls of sure they could play a little extra aggressive and that could be a big reward, but at the same time they're playing the safe route. Again, sure, it could end up working out in the end no matter what, but it's you could question if that is the best choice. And I mean, for the time being, he got the Rune Cleaver and Proboscis getting into the jungle somewhat here and farming away with it, so expect that gold per minute to definitely even go up, nearly 400 gold per minute now. For Dark Lady right here. Middle lane, Pebbles is in trouble. He has a portal key though, and he doesn't even need to use it.
Like, with a Kraken portal key, that's like an easy kill, but they're going in actually.
Are they? Oh yeah, they actually do go in. Pebbles came back in himself looking for a kill, and he gets trapped down. Release the Kraken even used. Here comes Pyromancer, a lot of TP support, but the Keeper Root actually kept him in play, so, and they get the kill and they jet on out of there. Yeah, he kind of went away. I looked at the top tower, but I guess he blinked in looking for a counter kill.
Dawn are really lucky there. Like, that initiation was absolutely horrible there from Super KG. Not to sort of criticise him, but I mean, his BMG teammates weren't really there to help him, and he went on Kraken as well. Incredibly tanky. They had Ophelia touch as well, so it wasn't really going to be able to burst him down. But the Dark Lady's cover of darkness was a big factor there. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would have been able to take a couple of hero kills if the cover of darkness wasn't there. So Dawn still holding on.
Yeah, you know, it is only 17 minutes into this game, so it would definitely be perhaps a little too much to say that, that they're out of it. But yeah, it's still a big hill to climb, definitely. 1,200 gold saved up on Dark Lady. Again, she is going to be working on that Abyssal Skull now. And let's talk about triple stack Ancient. Support's doing a good job of that. Obviously, over here on the Legion side, I'm sure in this case, Hugo Bick is the one that's taking care of that, playing the Torturer here as the main support. So Dark Lady is going to clean up the Ancients pretty damn fast herself with that Rune Cleaver especially. And actually, we'll have that full Abyssal Skull finish now in the near future. So Astrolabe just about finished on Ophelia. And again, it does kind of go back to the idea that BMG right here is, you know, maybe not forcing the issue as much as they could be. That middle fight was overly done. It's the one that kind of made that happen. So BMG, though, they are going to make their way to the bottom lane as I say that and put some pressure on this tower. Tablet, by the way, picked up by Tankafet playing the Tempest. So making the tablet route. You think that's the best option here?
Yeah, because I mean, they don't need portal key because it can be stopped quite easily, and unless you have strong head, there's no really need to pick up the portal key. And it's really strong in terms of obviously getting out, cracking ultimate if they need it, and it just helps in terms of sort of beefing up the Tempest here to really be involved and try and soak up as much damage as possible, and really be involved. You know, get the glacial blast out, get the meteor out. And really be like an essence outside of just, you know, you're not a walking ultimate, you're like a big tank presence as well as your stun as well. So I do like the pickup. He's picked up the Astrolabe as well. I mean, he might even pick up what's the word I'm thinking of? Not Urn. Crap. No, Shaman's headdress. No. Barrier idol and stuff as well, just to increase the sort of tanky presence as well. Just there's a lot of magic damage coming out to a degree. He might be picking that up. He might not. But yeah, I mean, there's no need to rush the portal here because they're in such a strong sort of team fight potential. He's a lot more useful than just his element of ward. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Ophelia.
Double damage rune up here, but yeah, Ophelia gets caught by the kelp field, and actually Pebble's going to fall in a beautiful combo coming out. He chucks Torture in, and Stalagmites ends up hitting both. Well played by Super KG right there. And obviously Zibe with the initial jump. So speaking of Zibe, he's to recover quite a bit. Portal Key and Tablet on him. Sure, he's still sitting on red boots, but hey, he has his core items in that sense. Coming out right there. So nice pick off again, coming out from BMG. In the meantime, in the middle lane, they're going for Zibe. But he's able to destroy it right there with the take cover. Gonna go for the TP's Kraken, but the Tablet will stop that. And now Dark Lady, she goes back in on a Pebble, so it's in the back. And look at how quickly he falls. Double damage Dark Lady. You do not want to mess with that. And Pebbles, well, regretting going in. And actually, Dark Lady was running into his own teammate right there. She was trying to turn it while Kraken was still continuing to try to run away. And in the meantime, Dark Lady will now try to go for the retreat, but actually stuck around a little bit too long. Blazing Strike comes in. Dark Lady, will it be enough damage overall? No, there won't. Charging Strike's away. She is going to be fine. Off to the side, Kraken, her teammate goes down. It's a very interesting fight, actually. I mean, a lot of both teams kind of indecisive on exactly what they want to do in the end, but at least Dark Lady survives, I guess, for Dawn in the long run.
Yeah, that's the big factor, and when she gets a strong head, that's when the team fights here for Dawn can be useful. They've got the portal key on Kraken now, they've got the portal key on Keeper of the Forest. The only issue is that they are 10,000 gold behind. If they had these items, obviously, when it was even, then Dawn would be in a great position, but the fact of the matter is that Dark Lady still does a lot of damage, and they've got the lockdown and the sort of team support with Kraken and Keeper of the Forest. So if Dark Lady can pick up a strong head, I mean, Dawn, they're definitely still in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, most certainly, definitely no reason to CC by any means they're getting at, but again, BMG continues to be on top here and looking like they're definitely giving an A+ effort to at least to force the third and final game. Obviously, again, Dawn taking the first game here in this best of the 3 series, so they're kind of doing a fake fallback now. They're going to be spotted though. Pebbles will go in though onto Ophelia, chucks her back in. Here comes the supporting cast. So Kraken jumps up and leads to Kraken and catches a couple. In comes the cover of darkness as well. And now Keeper of the Forest jumps in, but he's not close enough for a rune. In fact, that's still on cooldown. Shrunken Head was used by Soul Stealer, by the way, as that could be important throughout the progress of this fight. Dark Lady is here. Kraken, though, getting combo. He will eventually fall in the long run. So 2 are dead on the Legion side. Maybe a third Torture gets caught as well. He will eventually be bursted down. And Dark Lady's just not feeling comfortable committing to anything right here with his teammates dead. So, again, another case of not really the strongest initiation. It's like Kraken went in. His teammates weren't really there to support the best early on, and that kind of, well, backfired in the end. Now here comes the push.
Yeah, and this is going to be a tier 2, and I mean, I don't think they'll be able to push on Rax because obviously Kraken is up in 10 seconds, but they might rotate onto Congo. They've got the map control now as well. Even maybe push down bot and take the tier 2 there as well. So.
There goes the tower, quickly finishing off with Soul Stealer there. With the team in hands, Keeper of the Forest sitting on top of it. Now he needs to be careful that there's no like Rev Ward around here. I'm actually surprised there isn't a Rev Ward, and he's a little bit lucky in that sense. But he's just going to kind of walk them down, and eventually they will fall back after stealing a single set of Ancients there. So again, BMG continues to do what they need to do, playing it very safe, very smart in that sense. And now up 15,000 gold, nearly 10,000 experience. You have a Soul Stealer, a Shrunken Head Portal Key. That in itself is a great combo of items. Now we're going to start seeing more of a right-click threat Soul Stealer coming out here, I'm sure, as items continue to progress for him. Again, Bubbles, especially when you factor in the fact Zibe had here as far as the start goes. He's good to go as far as his progress. Shrunken Head's going to be picked up on Pebble soon at least. And again, Tempest, we'll see what he goes as he's sitting now on nearly 2,700 gold. Middle end in the meantime, they get the tower kill. Pyromets are invis right here. And actually is going to just stay on top of them somewhat. But you can see Dawn just sticking together as a team. They know. And the fact that Dark Lady's even with them, this kind of tells me that they're almost desperate right here just to really try to get something here. Rather than sitting back and farming. They may find Bubbles, actually. No.
That's fun. Then look how far behind they are on farm, because they sort of force a group of 5 because they are getting picked up. But here comes the TP's like, oh my god, team fight top lane.
Yeah, this is a lot of potential right here. Invis on a Pebbles. They have absolutely no clue. Stalagmites open. Soul Stealer in the background. Soul Burst right on top by Dark Lady. Off to the side. Tempest holding it locked down Kraken as well. And Kraken's going to fall. It's going to be a complete genocide in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. And I would not
That
be
was so
surprised to see
nice.
them throw in the white towel here as, yeah.
Man, that was
nice
so
indeed.
nice coordination though, because they all TV'd in and actually support gave every single one of them invis because of the Ironstone actually, and that was
Ironstone
an easy
OP, man.
initiation. Man, that was just so nice to play. Like they saw the rotations and then all TV'd in and just took it from there. And I mean, yeah, this game is just unwinnable now up there. They're most likely going to lose Rex here. They need 20,000 gold behind in terms of experience and gold. I mean, losing Rex here as well. It's just too much for Dawn. Like they had a good start. I mean, they had a bad start, and they had the items slowly coming to them, but it just ended. They got them just too late, and BMG just got them a little bit earlier, and as a result, they just snowballed from there.
Yeah.
The draft was sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying the draft was a little bit superior as well. Like you saw the Kraken having no kind of impact. Yeah, they did lose 2 kills to him early on, but the fact of the matter is that picking Dark Lady in kind of this big team fight and draft coming from BMG is a little bit questionable. But at the same time, BMG they executed it perfectly, and their draft was incredibly strong, and they played it how they should have played it. So I guess they're going to be moving on to a game 3, but Dawn they're still going to try and hang in here, but it's going to be a monumental task to come back to this one.
I know a lot of people are, uncertain / don't know if this really tells them most of the gold efficiency, but it is fun kind of seeing how BMG's gold efficiency is 113.5%. Not often you would figure that. In the meantime, Kraken, they jump Bubbles right here. Bubbles are going to completely lock him down, but no, the Shell Surf, he's able to pour it out. Can he actually get away from this? Portal Key? Yes, he can. Are you kidding me? Kelfo's used. I mean, it's one thing to not concede after the last fight that just happened, but honestly, after that, I would just be like, okay. That's just that's just silly. But hey, they can't kill him, and they're gonna hang in there still. I mean, there is 2,700 gold on Dark. He is gonna have the Shrunken Head here shortly, so I guess that may be the one thing where they're like, let's get her the Shrunken Head. Let's see what she can actually do in these fights as far as her damage output. I mean, Dark Blade's alone, even with no really big damage items on her yet, she could still put out plenty, of course.
Yeah, I mean, the only scary thing is that Tempest can still lock her down regardless if you've got a Shrunken Head, and I mean, if that's the case, then it's just going to be so hard for Dawn to really take the team fights. I mean, a lot of things have to go wrong here for BMG, and everything has to go wrong right here for Dawn. But I mean, stranger things have happened, Break here. I mean,
I
mean today, Break here.
That's
come
true,
on,
yeah.
If there's one game that's one day that's going to be awkward and the comeback might be real, I mean, it's going to be today. So.
Top lane, look at Dark Lady. He's trying to shoot Conchive. He has enough for the Shrunken. No, nice. Ophelia's touch comes out. Release the Kraken news as well. And Probusk is just running this whole time. He's actually going to go for the TP. He's not looking at getting any turn kills here. Kraken, though, may still try to get a nice block from Zibe. Not enough, though. Kraken, he does get the kill on Pebbles. And now Bubbles actually shell surfed into the other trees. And this is kind of awkward all of a sudden. So Dark Lady gets the Shrunken Head, though. Now he's working to finishing the Abyssal Skull. Did he just cancel his TP? I think Kraken just cancels TP. Oh, that's probably on purpose because it's coming out here, but he has no mana or no life, unless I just didn't see that correctly. Anyways, he ends up going down. And Torturer is actually, I don't know what he's planning to do here. The name is Torturer, support Torturer. He's like, maybe I can kill Bubbles? No, probably not. You definitely can't. So he's not going to go for any opening right there. So again, a little bit of back and forth there. But the lead still remains well in favor of BMG, 23,000 gold, 20,000 experience. So, yes, it has been a crazy day so far. We've had a couple of great results, and both of these teams have been on the winning end in the end of what were decent, crazy games. But this is one of those leads where you just look at it like, oh, that's, I don't know, man. I mean, a Geometer's Bane now finished on Soul Stealer. Keeper, okay, he's going to be fine. Gonna have Dust to spot him right there, but. Maybe though. Dark Lady, you get a good keeper route, I guess. Dark Lady comes in, cleans up. Maybe they just need to do that like 2 or 3 times. And then there's
here comes the push, but they're gonna start pushing here in the middle lane. They've got Token on Soul Stealer, and they're so far ahead as well. There's no need for them to keep farming. They can just end this game right now, right here, and take it to a game 3.
Pushing into the middle, so here we go. BMG knows that they have a very comfortable lead, so might as well use this token. Kraken, he is going to be charging. Oh, misses though, unfortunately. Good sidestep coming out. Pebbles in the meantime reacts though, and now Kraken in trouble. Now Cover of Darkness is on them currently. Dark Lady jumps in. She's looking to make something happen. Goes for Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer again. He has a token, remember, as Dark Lady is like, he hasn't really done a whole lot. He's actually, a Soul Burst on top of the Tempest ultimate. Dark Lady had the Shrunken Head up, so didn't do too much to her, but the rest of the team, they just fall apart. Double tap for Super KGE. And if it wasn't over already, I think it's over now, officially. So just maybe talking things over is Don, I'm sure, but BMG there well on their way to taking game number 2 here and forcing that third and final game against Don at this point. So are they really not going to give in?
I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird though. Like, to me, you just want to concede and get it on with the next game because, like, although yeah, you might be talking about the game, that's fine. But if you're in a losing game, like, the mindset, it can never be positive. Do you know what I mean? So there is the GG well played. So they're going to tap out and take it to a game 3 break here.
Yeah. So again, perhaps just talking it over. Nothing wrong with that. And in the end, though, they throw in the towel, and that means we are going to the third and final game. So yeah, talk about completely opposite game there in game number 2. As BMG, they really take it to Don and make a point that, okay, yeah, you had fun the first game, but we are Bad Monkey Gaming after all, and we've been around the Diamond Division now for a little bit, including 3rd place finish last cycle. So they're looking to move on to face Sync Esports in the winner bracket finals. Both these teams are, for that matter, and I'm looking forward to a great game 3.